So shooters and reloaders out there, fortunately 45LC coming to the hot lead zone, and so you know we're loading these Matt's 250 grain full Wadcutter bullets, and we got 8.5 grains of unique, and it shoots pretty good. Well, do we accept that as our sweet spot load? No, not yet, because we want to see how these will shoot in other guns, including our lever action rifles. So we're not ready to call this 8.5 grain load a sweet spot load yet. In fact, even though it shot pretty well and we can go ahead and test in other guns, let's go ahead and up the powder charge, because as we know, we can vary the powder charge a little bit and get better performance, better accuracies. So I'm going to go ahead and load some at 9 grains of unique, because we can go all the way up to 10.5 grains maximum with unique powder. So 9 grains is good to go ahead with. So to go with 9 grains of powder, the unique powder, let's go ahead and use our brass that's been wet tumbled as opposed to dry tumbled. You see the difference in the finish, plus these don't have any dust on them. They feel absolutely dry and clean, whereas these feel dusty and they'll leave a kind of a dark stain smudge on your finger when you handle these. Not so with these. So let's go ahead and use these for our 9 grain charge. And I don't like to load just 10 rounds of 9 grains. I want enough to also shoot offhand to gauge how much fun I can have with them. So we're going to load up 100 rounds with 9 grains, and if I like those, we'll try them in different guns. Plus, it takes 100 rounds to be able to tell if this load also fulfills the criteria of a sweet spot load to be a clean shooting, accuracy maintaining, minimum barrel leading load. So it takes 100 rounds to do that. Well, let's go with 100 rounds. So resizing the cases is a piece of cake. Let's go to the next step, priming. And here, of course, is our RCBS bench priming tool doing its thing. Feeling each primer go to the bottom of each primer pocket until we are all done with 100 cases. There they are. And then, of course, the fine Lee neck expander mouth flaring die, and this is the 100th case that we did there, and the bullet will slip right into the case just fine. So we're ready to go ahead and powder charge. Well, how much unique do I have left? Plenty for this job, and more for later, but not a whole lot more. Still a little bit in there. So there's a nice charge by the Hornady powder dispenser. We'll just go ahead and keep putting charges out. As you see. So I've been using the Hornady powder dispenser a lot. Give it a good workout to see if it's going to have it develop any problems. Now the neat thing about bullet seating on the coax press is that this only has to be fairly close to being vertical, and the self-aligning nature of the shell holder plus the die that has movement in there allows the bullet to be seated very nicely. So there you go, we got another charged case there. So let's go ahead and put the powder into the case run another powder charge, then take a bullet and just place it anywhere to where it's straight up and down, and it'll go into the case, into the die fine, and seat the bullet exactly to the top of the crimping groove, as you see there, ready for crimping in a little while. So we'll go ahead and charge them all up and seat all the bullets and then get ready for the crimping. Here's the crimping procedure using the fine Lee factory crimp die. Applying a nice crimp into the crimping groove. And there's the last one. Nice crimp into the crimping groove. So here are our 8.5 grain loads using the dry tumbled brass. Here's our 9.0 using our wet tumbled brass. And here are 3 factory rounds. So you see the wet tumbled brass is just like factory. Ready to go to the range with these 9.0 grain loads of Unique.